Good evening, all. Good afternoon to my opponent in the States, but I'm over here in Europe. I was just doing a quiz with some friends, so I had to hold off on this. So this is Reshuffle 2020B, organised by Shaq, 2nd Division. I'm playing JustAnotherNerd. We've played a few times on the Saito site, but this is our first Playdek game. Okay, so we're opening 4-4-2 with our hand. We've got no 4-up cards, unfortunately. No socialist governments. We also have absolutely no decent headline. So I'll open 4-4-2. Woof. Okay, let's plug my hand into the tracker and we'll see. So NORAD isn't great because we have to spend an extra 2 ops triggering it and we lose another one of our 3-op cards. Because we have to hold D-Style in event of being blockaded. And of course, if I get purged, I am in serious trouble. So, really only CIA or Formosa are the potential headlines. So I'm going to be really boring and headline CIA here. And he's going Vietnam Revolt. So we do get the opportunity to coup Vietnam at least. What else has he got? Middle East scoring. He did have blockade, but he didn't have purge. So let's see. He's got captured Nazi. Blockade, defectors, special relationship. Middle East scoring. Eastern European unrest and Warsaw Pact. And he's headline Vietnam Revolt. So we'll take the coup in Vietnam and at least slow him up for tempo. And we fail. Ha! Perfect. So here comes a coup, I assume, on Iran. No, he's going influence first. That's sensible. We'll go 2 in Pakistan, 1 in Iraq, knowing that he's holding Middle East scoring. He's just overloading Asia. We know he's got captured Nazi, so we'll space Arab-Israeli, and we beat him to the 2VP square. He may drop Middle Eastern scoring here. Yep. Fine. 1VP. So what do we do here? Defcon at 5. Let's push into India. And then to Burma. So anyway, this is being streamed on a 15-minute delay. So it's still another 10 minutes or so before we get the stream live on Twitch. All the league games, whether it's Ritzel or Itzel, I'll stream on a delay. Obviously. So sorry if I missed the chat, but feel free to drop by and say hi. We'll pop 1 in France here, because NORAD's already been and gone. He's keeping DEFCON high. Okay, so we will overload France and put the wind up him about potentially holding Europe scoring. We will not be able to clear him out. Let's take one out of Finland in case we can Marshall plan in that direction. Because we're not going to be able to clear adjacency to Italy. Going for a coup. Pakistan. Yep. Okay, so we'll counter coup. Boom. That's the kind of counter coup you want to see. So now what we need to watch out for, of course, is being Arab-Israeli ward. So we'll put 2 into Burma. Oh, man. Captured Nazi for influence. So gross, huh? Okay, well, we're still dominated there, but we managed to get captured Nazi off for ops, and we didn't get blockaded yet. And we've got socialist governments. So, I think we'll headline Marshall Plan here to make NATO unplayable. And we've got a lot of ops. Oh, well, I mean, the advantage of headlining US-Japan is that we level up Asia. De Gaulle is the big risk on the other side, but he needs De Gaulle and duck and cover. Containment. So containment is ugly with 3 4-op cards in our hand. I think it's US, Japan, or Marshall Plan. If we put Marshall Plan in, it goes 2-1. He needs a 4-op card to flip, and he's holding China, possibly NATO, possibly Red Scare. It's Marshall Plan or US, Japan. We'll go US, Japan, because if he De Gaulle's, he needs duck and cover as well to protect Asia. So we're going to go US, Japan. So Suez, bad but not as heinous. So now he'll take the coup on Pakistan. So we know he's holding blockade. We have to hold D-style. And we don't want to play UN intervention too soon either. God, he's got duck and cover as well. Coup on Iran. Succeeds, but not enough to make odds. So we will, since Middle East has scored, pump. Oh man, that leaves Pakistan open for the for Indo-Pakistani war. And with no adjacency. This is nasty. Choices, choices. All right, we will accept Europe dropping for a point. In a bid to make sure that we don't get flipped badly in Asia. Yes. Not happy about either of those scenarios. We'll event Marshall Plan next turn if nothing. Oh, he had Europe scoring as well. Dang and blast. Oh well. We'll start racking up country count and denying adjacency to Pakistan as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll be okay now. For a while. Shame about Europe scoring, but we've built a wee buffer here at the moment. Let's see if we can keep on keeping on. Yeah, so now he's only got a 6 on India. Yeah, and a 1's not going to do it. We'll event Marshall Plan. It's lots of ops. It denies NATO. We still need to overprotect against De Gaulle. So where's this going? Spreading influence around. That's fine, that's fairly benign. I'm going to overprotect Japan and pop one in France to protect against De Gaulle. I'm just overprotecting Japan so that he doesn't try and tap me, and I'm hoping that we get a chance to tap him before the end of the turn. If he doesn't play blockade this turn, we're going to have to space socialist governments. That's especially depressing to see it go, but we do. And he's likely to draw 5-year plan next turn. What's he doing with his influence? Yeah, so pressing. Right. So we space socialist governments. Ooh, or... No, we'll space socialist governments and we'll force him to event blockade. The other option is to UN intervention it and to lose D-style to blockade, but then not have an AR6. But at least this way we get an op. It's not great, but it is what it is. And we overprotect France, so it drops to 4-1. Okay, in the reshuffle, we didn't get NATO, but we did get 5-year plan. He got Asia scoring. Did he also get Purge? He did. He also got Decol and De Gaulle. And we got Romanian application NASA. We got all the one-op cards. So he's holding Asia scoring, Decol, NATO, Purge, De Gaulle. That's not a bad little reshuffle. We got Duck and Cover, Arab-Israeli War, and Independent Reds. So we will headline Duck and Cover and Deny the Mill-Ops. And Europe scoring. He was hoping to be defected, I suspect. But it didn't happen. He shouldn't have expected it too highly because it came out in turn 1. It was in his hand. So I'll take it. Straight in with Decol, standard. We'll put 1 in Burma and 2 in Algeria. We'll be spacing Arab-Israeli War. We can now event Romanian application, but we want to do it as late as possible to mind potential D-style. So he'll take that Algeria with that, most likely. Okay, so we drop Middle East for 0. So he's still holding a boatload of ops. Misses Asia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, so we are not likely to win on country count. But if he's got Formosa, we're going to put the wind up him. Yeah, so he gives up on Asia. That's fine for us, because we didn't actually have the ops to fight it. We will space... Oh, no, he's already got his mill ops for Arab Israeli. So maybe we space Fidel here instead. And now we can try spacing Arab Israeli as well. So he's holding NATO, Purge, and one other. We're off to the races here. But we need to watch out for D-Style in South America. He did have Formosa, which is why he got scared when I started loading that. Yeah, so he just goes around Africa. We space Arab Israeli, and we miss again. That is sad. So he's holding NATO and Purge. He's looking to hold Purge to the next turn, of course, which would be very savvy. We're now streaming on Twitch, so hello to anyone who's shown up. Say yes if you're in the chat, so I'll come and say hi. Great, lucky me. Get to ditch Purge. That suits me all right. So he's just absolutely ravaging Africa. We will event NASA rather than remain in abdication because it's less influence to put in places. And we'll go to Costa Rica to cover any potential coup there. That's turn. So we've got OAS for access. We've got grain sales to take a coup. If he missile envies, we can give him alliance instead of Quagmire. And we can always steal Nixon and event John Paul. So we've got some options here. Just checking. None of those. None of those. Korean War. He played in turn 2, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, we're going to headline grain sales here, of course. John Paul and Nixon are our blue cards. Our red cards are Quagmire, Allende, Portuguese. And we've got no neutrals. Grain sales it is. He's going for ops pump. We will take you 2 off him. And we will take a big old coup on Zaire. So now we're worried about ABM and brush war, but we're less worried otherwise. Gets into Costa Rica. Savvy. So we will do what? We're not in a hurry to steal the China card, right? Yeah, so we'll use Nixon and we'll start pressing Central America. So we want to be holding Allende here. We'll use OAS to get access to Argentina. Although we may go Argentina and Venezuela if and when we see brush war and ABM and try and get around more of the Americas. With all these one-op cards, we're a little shy on access, because ideally what we want to be doing is controlling Central America and dropping alliance for a bomb. Good thing we didn't event, in a way. So, pressing in Africa. Let's start a somewhat false coup war in Central America with John Paul. We're all right in Europe at the moment. We want to use our ops elsewhere. We just want to keep the pressure up now. We'll influence instead. Okay. He's unconvinced. We'll use Alliance to take Cuba. Give up on the VP dream. And hope we don't get missile envied here before we get a chance to space Quagmire. If he has Africa scoring, we were unlikely to do much with it anyway. No, going influence. Ooh, okay. Alright, we can't do all about that. We're going to space Quagmire before Portuguese Empire crumbles to make sure we don't get missile envied into Quagmire. It fails. So now we need to watch out for Liberation Theology and Junta potentially flipping Panama. Yeah, going NATO. Ooh, tapping all around. Alright, we now event Portuguese Empire crumbles. Italy's now safe from brush war at least. And we need to watch out for Fidel coming back. We'll coup Nicaragua with Romanian abdication to regain domination, and we just need to watch out for... If we're lucky, we pull Junta, and we get to play into South America and coup Panama. It's one of those 50-50 cards. Just got to keep the pressure on. Okay. That gives us temporary domination in Asia. Long may we have it. Oh, man. So we'll put one in Cuba. With Romanian abdication. Man, Brezhnev really, really pumps the ops, doesn't it? And he spaces puppet governments on his last round because that's ugly. Gets off to space. And we'll use OAS to put one in Cuba and to repair. And put one in Chile as well. That's not great, but it'll do. Cuba, of course, sorry, not Cuba. Chile, because it's protected, basically. So ABM on Thailand for Southeast Asia scoring is the most attractive, obviously. We've got Missile MV and Duck and Covers bin. So we can either resign ourselves to ditching 4 VP in Thailand or go for an improbable coup at 3. We can use Cuban Missile Crisis, however, to drop DEFCON and deny any coup, which then allows us to coup Panama for potential control. So Cuban Missile Crisis plus Missile Envy plus ABM Treaty is a lot of gambit. And if we're lucky, we'll get arse knotted to ditch the scoring cards we don't like. Right, where are we? Sorry, just plugging in the cards. What am I missing? ABM and Missile Envy? Missile Envy. So, Cuban Missile Crisis is the safest in inverted commas. Although he can pull 2 out of Cuba, can't he? So it's not safe at all. So we will go Missile MV because he can't ABM Crisis us and we can't get hit by DEFCON. Let's Missile MV him. Missile MV is always fun as well. We get to Kitchen Debate first. Even, behind, behind, ahead, ahead. It might do it. Ah! So he gets the coup, and we'll have to counter. It fails. So now we ABM Treaty Coup Panama. Big money, no Amazon, stop! Not good enough. And Kitchen Debates didn't trigger. Right. Did it trigger? It did not. Fine. Okay, so we coup Haiti for temporary domination. He'll coup Guatemala. We'll coup Nicaragua. We'll keep plugging away here. He has to space VOA. It fails, so we get 2 space shots. So we play Central America scoring for Dom. Still hoping for a late arse not. So we'll keep... Oh, Amit. Does get to deny it triggering. Very nice. And we'll play into Chile to make sure we have presence. We're getting close to having to eat Southeast Asia scoring. Now, it's probably not worth a coup. Oh man. We're going to give up Southeast Asia scoring and hope we don't get arse knotted on the last turn. If we do get arse knotted, we can risk ditching both. Oh, NATO triggers. Glorious. We'll take Turkey. Although, no, we won't. We'll play into Finland to try and get the extra 1 VP adjacency. Gonna keep cracking away at Chile. Miss, and please miss. Yeah, okay. So we'll space to finish the turn. And we get the VP. So we've got Brush War. We can steal with Yusuri. We can headline We Will Bury You and then use you an intervention on Allende to get it out of our hand. So that's nice. But let's plug our hand in. We've got Yusuri. We've got We Will Bury You. We've got Brush War. We've got Yusuri. Arsenal. Camp David. You an intervention. How I Learned. Which also drops Defcon, but We Will Bury You does it more elegantly. We Will Yusuri Brush Socialist Governments, which we can use with your intervention, yeah. So We Will Bury You to drop Defcon. He's D-Starling. So he will get around South America a bit more, but we might be able to Brush War before he does anything too exciting. He'll also be able to get into Nigeria. We'll event Camp David for the VP as much as anything. And we'll not be spacing this turn, from the look of things. Yeah, those Romania ops always come back to haunt ya. So we have to use you an intervention. And we will on Chile and 2 in Peru to make sure they don't set up the nasty realign. Che's a decent shout here for him to play back. Cuba is, of course, a nightmare for Fidel late in the war. He drops Africa for Dom. Saw that coming. We will brush war on Venezuela now. We fail. That is a kick in the teeth. So event Camp David. Oh, I got greedy and forgot to UN intervention Allende, but then I needed to set up the safe Peru play. So I need to overprotect Chile at some point to make sure Allende doesn't hurt me. Olympic Games is doing what? It's gonna, yeah, take some stuff. That's fine. We'll event Camp David, which puts some pressure on in Libya, amongst other things. Okay, I've not been keeping up on this. I think Colonial Rearguards went to space, didn't it? No. It did not. My bad. That's fine, it's still in the deck. Arms Race got missile embeds, that's gone. Okay, that looks relatively up to date. East European unrest. Weesh. He's starting to look thin on the ground in Europe. Maybe John Paul should have been evented, eh? So you should take Libya with one of those. And instead he goes, yeah, he overprotects, that's fine. We will, if we pump 2 into Argentina, we don't actually get anywhere with, and we can't use our snot. So we'll take Libya while we can, in anticipation of Sadat and the fact the shuttle diplomacy is in play. We might just give up on South America. At least Chile's not likely to be couped on, although if they coup Peru, they have another option. Yeah, so that gives us Egypt. So now we just have to watch out for sensible. How I learned to cover Chile against Allende. He spaces bear trap, very wise. Never self-trap if you can avoid it. He's catching up. Overprotect against Allende, which is triggered. Junta's still out there. So we want to AR7 pump Argentina in the hopes of getting Junta in our hand so we can then coup a different place. Coup Peru. Wise. Standard result. We pump Argentina in the hopes of getting Junta. We do not get dealt Junta, which is a real shame. Good opportunity to purge, though. So he's holding Panama Canal returned. Junta. South America scoring. Colonial rear guards. Liberation theology. Cambridge 5 and Korean War. Some of those might already have been. And what did I get back? John Paul Purging Cultural Revolution. So we can give him firepower if he missile envies us, so we don't run a risk of losing Purge. The options are Latin American death squads to reduce Junta's efficacy. Or we just purge him and make his life a living hell. Warsaw Pact hasn't gone. So we want to AR7 John Paul, really. OPEC's only worth 2 at the moment. Containment is an option, although we've got a couple of 4-op cards. We're going to make his life difficult and purge him, rather than lads. And he does go Junta, as expected. Let's see whether the extra pip would have made a difference. Although, it becomes a 1-op coup anyway. Thanks to Purge. So actually, lads did the same thing. But Purge is persistent. Yeah, 1 minus 1 minus 1. Right, South America scoring does drop for Dom, which is to be expected. We want to get a space away before we get one small step leaped. Oh, it was Che. It didn't do it. I think he's reholding Captured Nazi. Right, so we repair Liberation Theology. And we can do it with lads. What are we afraid of? Korean War's free mill-ops and potential points. The rest of his hand's not spectacular. I'm not holding any scoring cards, so Cambridge 5 doesn't do a ton. We can press for Europe control. He's going for it because it's the best thing for mill-ops and points. And it does hit. Well done him. So let's take a coup on Paraguay in the hopes of, yeah, nice. So now he has to play into Uruguay in order to stabilize Argentina. But we've got our mill-ops and it's to some extent a false coup. With OPEC, we'll tap Saudi and put one in Iraq to make it 1 VP. But the scoreline is racing down, to my chagrin. He's not in a terrible place for mid-war, with Africa scoring still to come out. There's not yet anything we necessarily want to salt. Although we can raise Defcon to 5 to some extent, knowing that I've never seen Captured Nazi played for op so much in all my days. One in Venezuela. Okay. We will take 3 realignment attempts on Argentina at +1. Will we? The alternative is putting 2 in Uruguay. And then doing it at +2. Options are plenty. So I think he's holding Cambridge 5, Korean War, Panama Canal, and Colonial Rear Guard. So the one in Venezuela was to cover Panama Canal. Oh, he's used Korean War, Dodoy. So 3 of the 4 he's holding. What do we think? What's our play here? I still think John Paul's AR7. Alright, we'll do OPEC. No, we won't do OPEC first. Let's take some +1 realigns on Argentina. 27% of the time we come up short. And this time we didn't. Just like that. 2 attempts on an empty Nigeria. Miss. But we got what we set out for. So we're really hoping to score Asia first. Before the Middle East. Oh yes, he's purged. The scores are level again, which is unpleasant. Would have liked to have been sitting a bit taller. So this is a free op to play somewhere, so Saudi seems like the one. Oh, protect Thailand. Fine. We'll hold on to flower power. And we'll start putting some ops in some other European battlegrounds so socialist governments doesn't deny us domination. Yeah, that's fine. And we're going to event John Paul on AR7. So what's his other card? He won't play Colonial Rearguards, I assume. He is, okay. So we tap Algeria, South Africa, we put one in Nigeria, and one in Laos, say. Why not? Okay, we're going to event John Paul, just to really lean on Europe. Late war's coming. We need to fade war games still. Africa scoring, we can ask not away, which is good. So we can ask not away a few nasty cards. And we can terrorize him if we want for good measure. But we're going to headline Arsenal because we don't want Aldrich to take it out if we terrorize. So terrorism, ask not. Sorry, I'm just checking in on the Twitch. No one's in the Twitch feed from looking. That's fine. Not missed any conversation. No chit chat. North Sea Oil, but we don't have AARs with you in intervention, and OPEC has already been and gone. Flower Power de Gaulle. Independent Reds. One small step. And Africa scoring, which we're gonna can. So let's go ask not. Willy Brandt doesn't tap West Germany, thankfully. So we ditch Africa, Flower, and de Gaulle. We'll keep a neutral two-op card. Will we? Let's cycle our hands. We're holding UN intervention, so we want to pick up as many late war cards as possible, I guess. So let's ditch all of those. We got Ortega and we got Lone Gunman. Nasty. Now we need to hope that he doesn't Aldrich us. Alright, we'll play you an intervention on Lone Gunman to not quite take Mexico, but make sure we do not get DEFCON endgamed. Because we're also holding Ortega and that needs to go to space. Oh! Fidel comes back with a vengeance. But Ortega's now playable. One less thing to space. Okay, so we need to go one in Mexico, one in 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, yeah. Now he needs to kill in Costa Rica. So we wouldn't mind putting some in Canada. Another one in Poland for now. Bless you. Bless you. What a sneeze. Okay, Europe scoring drops. That's good. That won't stop us causing trouble in the long run. So, we've got terrorism, we've got emit, we've got socialist governments. We've got to play them all this turn. He may be holding other scoring cards, so terrorism is bad here. Let's be risk averse and play emit to look at the deck and pull out nasty red cards. We'll pull out Cuban Missile Crisis. And we're going to pull out Thatcher the Betrayer. Because I've got socialist governments and we don't want to put... And we keep Solidarity in the deck. So goodbye Iran, Yuri, Thatcher the Betrayer, and Cuban Missile Crisis. And goodbye emit. Grain Sales goes to space, but misses. So we'll take the opportunity to space socialist governments. And we get to headline peak, which is nice for us. Ooh. Nicely done. I should have seen that that little creep in did the job. But we've done most of the damage there at least. So we're going to use terrorism to take Poland for an AR-7, tear down this wall of East Germany. So let's hope he doesn't have Warsaw Pact here. Going China card. Overprotect and tap. I will not be distracted, will I? Won't I? I said I wouldn't. Europe control is just such a big problem, I guess. What's the realignment look like? Let's go for it. One more. +1/+1. Yes! He's got to deal with that as well. And we've got Brush War and... So we go ABM to avoid missile envying. And he has to do something there. If he missile envies, he gets the reform of only 4 ops. We've got to do something about decol. Oh yes, and of course we have... So he's going to Aldrich Aims us. So we defect. That seems best. Because we don't want him to have perfect information. Or to take a card off us. So we defect. Now, worst case scenario, we get missile envied into ABM. He goes for a coup, presumably Mexico for control. Oh no, okay, so he's holding, potentially holding Middle East scoring. But we have enough time to deal with it, so we cover Mexico for now. And then we get to send a coup off. Ah, 3VP, neatly done. What's a bigger risk in the long run? Let's coup Panama. And we can get realigns off on Cuba if we want to. Of course, we've got Brush War as well. Should have thought that. But Venezuela is attractive there. And we've still got Usuri and Nixon with the China card. Oh yeah, Europe's controlled. What's he doing there? So we'll take the opportunity to space the Reformer. Bag another 3 VP. When it's going right for you, it's going right for you. We get 4 ops in Asia. So 2 in North Korea, 2 in Thailand. We event and repair Marine barracks, and we event South African unrest. So here we just use Indo-Pakistani war to retake Iraq, and we hope we don't get Muslim revolutioned. It's a risk. It's definitely a risk. Muslim Rev is very attractive. Alright, we use South African unrest. We can keep doing this. And I mean, he's telegraphing the fact he's holding Middle East scoring here. Got a space Star Wars. And whiffs again. So we can event and repair Marine barracks. And finish with an AR-7 coup of Venezuela. Yeah. So Middle East scoring drops. Yeah. So we should now flip. We should give the China card back and flip. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we play Taiwan with Formosa, we still dominate. So naturally we play on Venezuela. When it's going well for you, it goes well for you. So if he doesn't do anything to trigger Asia, we can get Dom, and we're holding war games, and the jig is up. Well, everything ran well there. The water flowed downhill. Sometimes it goes that way. Let's see what he does. Iran-Iraq war, so we can drop Asia. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Do comment. Some of it may have been a little hasty. So I would welcome commentary. But thanks for watching, and ciao for now.